I'll make it all come true.
What is going on, you guys? It's Mr. MVP Diddly Giver here, back again with another brand new Call of Duty Mobile video. You guys already know I promised that I would do this. It's the top 5 submachine guns ranked video. Yep, that's right. We're doing top 5 SMGs. You guys asked for it, and I'm going to provide it. You guys haven't watched the top 5 assault rifles video, make sure to check it out. A couple days after this is released, I will upload the top 5 guns overall inside of COD Mobile. But before we get into this, make sure to check out the iFerg highlights channel. It's about to reach 200,000 subscribers, which means 800,000 of you guys have no idea that it exists. I upload highlights from my stream on this channel. For example, a 50-0 gameplay in ranked was just uploaded there. So make sure to check it out and subscribe to it. Also, subscribe right now to this channel. Okay, now the self-promotion's out of the way, let's hop right into this. So coming in at the number 5 spot, it's a gun that a lot of people like to use. In fact, this and the gun in the number 4 spot are pretty much identical weapons. However, for the number 5 spot, we're going to be going with the PDW. Up to 5 meters, it has a very fast time to kill of 242 milliseconds. It then drops down to 322 and then down to 403. Anything further than that, you really don't want to be using this gun. It will probably get you killed, not gonna lie. As you can see, the damage per shot is on screen now as well. 27 damage close range, which is amazing. It means it kills in 4 shots or less. And as you can see, the recoil is fairly controllable also. It's mostly vertical, which is better than horizontal. Like I said in the assault rifles video about the AK-117, the PDW is kind of just like a reliable submachine gun that you can use. It was previously average in season 1 and season 2, got a buff, and now it's pretty damn decent. So for the PDW effectiveness of prime, I'm gonna have to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Very good effectiveness of prime in those first 5 meters. However, drops off pretty significantly down to the lower echelon of submachine guns, but still good enough to be in the top 5. For versatility, like I said, since it drops off pretty significantly, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 when compared to the other submachine guns in the class, which gives it a solid 14 out of 20 on the Fergometer. With that being said, let's move into a gun which is pretty much its brother in terms of submachine guns. In fact, they could have swapped places. 4th and 5th could have switched around very easily. So the number 4 spot, we are actually talking about the RUS, the Russ, previously known as the AKS. It actually got a nerf, but it is still considered one of the best submachine guns in the game, and that is why it's the number 4 spot. When compared to the PDW, as you can see on screen right now, the time to kill from 0 to 5 meters is actually a little bit lower than the PDW. But everywhere else, it's better than the PDW. The RUS is actually used by a lot of professional players in this game because it is very efficient at killing people in the close to medium ranges and even pretty long range as well. The iron sights are clean and crisp. However, sometimes the recoil can be slightly more horizontal than you would want it to be, as you can see on screen right now. It's kind of iffy once you get into shooting past around 10 shots. Like I said, PDW and the RUS are so similar. In fact, here's the time to kill, the recoil, and the damage right beside each other of the RUS and the PDW, so that maybe you can make a choice on which one you want to use, judging by the actual statistics of the gun. For versatility, I would have to give the RUS a 9 out of 10. It is arguably one of the most, if not the most versatile submachine gun in the game. It's pretty close between it and the number 1 spot. However, for the effectiveness of prime, since there's a lot of SMGs that beat it close range, I'm gonna give it a solid 6 out of 10, which lands it right on 15 out of 20 in the Fergometer. Hey, nice. Now, with that being said, let's get into number 3. Number 3 goes to none other than the previous number 1 submachine gun in the entire game. It is the gun. The Pharaoh. Now, the reason why the Pharaoh is so good is because of its effectiveness of prime. It's so deadly in those first 5 and 10 meters because it can kill in 1 burst. That's right, it's a burst submachine gun, 4 bullets per burst, and it can kill in just 1 singular burst. Up to 5 meters, 34 damage per shot. Woo! It's cracked. Up to 10 meters, 26 damage per shot, ladies and gentlemen. Some would say it's quite the spicy weapon. Hey. Then when you look at its time to kill, it's still on top close range as well. 144 millisecond time to kill. However, if you hit the limbs with the Pharaoh, that drops off significantly. Limbs are like arms, legs, toes, anything like that, it will hit for significantly less. So don't let that number trick you into thinking that this could be the best submachine gun in the game. It also got a stability nerf, which is actually what I notice on it more than anything. It sways more horizontally now rather than the previous recoil that you'll see on screen right now. It was more vertical. It's much harder to use, which is why it dropped from the number 1 spot down to the number 3 spot. However, for effectiveness of prime, it's still a 10 out of 10. It's the best submachine gun that you can use when somebody is within those first 5 meters, which means that when you're in the prime place to use this gun, it will be everything, absolutely everything that comes in its path. However, versatility after those medium ranges, it's kind of trash because of the recoil that they added to it. So it's a 6 out of 10, which still gives it a very good score of 16 out of 20 on the Fergometer. Yes, sir. The deadly giver. Now, coming in at the number 2 spot, it's a gun that could even be number 1. In fact, in close range encounters, I believe it is the best option for you to use to get close range kills. We're talking about the QQ9 here, ladies and gentlemen. It's unbelievably good. Ever since I touched this gun, I loved it. In fact, look at the time to kill. 216 close range. That rivals the old MSMC for having the best time to kill ever, and it's only currently overtaken by the Pharaoh, which is a burst weapon. It is the best close range automatic submachine gun in the game currently. It then drops down to 288, 360, and 433. The damage per shot is 25, dropping to 23, 19, 17, and 15, which is amazing. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, here's where the downfall is of the QQ9. At least that's what people say. Boom, the recoil. I personally love the recoil of this gun. I love it. It's so vertical. I mean, look at that. The first, I would say, 15 shots are pretty damn easy to control. Pretty damn easy indeed, ladies and gentlemen. After that, there's a little bit of bounce that goes around, a little bit of horizontal recoil, which understandably kind of sucks if you're trying to spray at multiple opponents. I totally understand, which is why it's not number 1 on this list. But currently, the QQ9, I feel like could even overtake number 1 on this list. Similar to the RUS and the PDW, number 1 on the list and the QQ9 are like blood brothers. They are insanely close and insanely good. When I'm cooking up my enemies with these weapons, it just feels like easy food.
Nice rhymes, man.
For effectiveness at prime, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, just like the Pharaoh. I know what you guys are probably thinking. How can it be a 10 out of 10 if the Pharaoh is better than it? Listen, it's the best close range automatic firing submachine gun. It's still the best automatic submachine gun in the game. You can't take that away from this gun. For versatility, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10, meaning it lands 18 out of 20 on the Fergometer. Nice. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I personally like the QQ9 more than the number 1 weapon because it's funner to use, listen to, and abuse. However, in the grand scheme of things, the number 1 weapon is just a little bit more consistent. And I guess we better talk about it. Number 1 spot is, of course, as many would assume, the brand new weapon, the Cordite. Amazing. Fantastic. But I want to let you guys compare both of the weapons. So as I'm showing you guys the recoil patterns, the time to kill, and the damage of the Cordite, I want you to look at how close the QQ9 is to it, because it's extremely close and the QQ9 takes over it in some categories. Like, it's absurd how close these guns are to each other. So for the recoil, the Cordite goes up a little less for vertical, which means it's easier to control its vertical recoil, and it has a little less horizontal recoil after you've shot the first 15 bullets. However, there is horizontal recoil pretty much all the time with the Cordite. It's not like the QQ9 where it just goes up straight and then horizontally flicks. It's kind of a flicking snake motion the whole way up to the top. Damage per shot is interesting because the QQ9 takes a quick lead from the Cordite, but after around 15 meters or so, the Cordite's back in the number 1 spot and stays there for the remainder of gunfights. Time to kill, however, is a different scenario. It's almost as if the QQ9 is just significantly better than the Cordite. However, there's one thing you got to understand when looking at the time to kill chart. Even though the time to kill of the QQ9 is slightly better in most areas, that kick long range where it goes straight up vertically will be hard to control across the map. Also, since the Cordite does hit for more damage, there's a possibility that if you're shooting at a weak opponent, they will die in one less shot than the QQ9, which would actually make the time to kill charts slightly irrelevant depending on how weak the opposing player is. Now, since we're getting deep with these guns, let's look at the hitbox multipliers. The Cordite has a 1 multiplier everywhere on the body except head, where it has a 1.2. So technically, you could kill somebody for 4 shots close range with this gun and further it down even more in the longer ranges, which is why so many professional players love to use this. This is one of the defining factors of why the Cordite is still number 1 in the game, even though the QQ9 is my personal favorite. Okay, I love the QQ9. It's so fun. The QQ9, on the other hand, only has a 1.1, which means you can't kill in one less bullet, which is sad to say the least. Also, the Cordite has a faster reload time while also containing more bullets per mag, which is another reason why it stays in front of the QQ9. You get more bullets per mag, and it also reloads faster with having more bullets per mag. I mean, it just makes sense. The Cordite unfortunately lacks below the QQ9 in ADS time, which, believe it or not, is quite a beneficial trait to have for a submachine gun because you're rushing around very quickly. Mobility is pretty much identical, and both iron sights are amazing. So all in all, I love the QQ9. I enjoy using it more, but I believe the Cordite is still the best weapon in the game. The intangibles that come with using the Cordite just makes it that little bit more superior. However, I do believe that there's a time and a place for both of these guns to be the best submachine gun. It just depends what scenario you are in. QQ9 for close, Cordite for the versatility. With that being said, the Cordite versatility, 9 out of 10. Effectiveness of prime, which is arguably everywhere, 9 out of 10. It gets the exact same score as the QQ9. Now, that's never happened here before. Both the QQ9 and Cordite got an 18 out of 10 on the Fergometer. These are the 2 submachine guns that you should be using inside of Ranked. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to live your life with purpose. Like, subscribe if you made it to the end. And I'll see you guys later. Roll the outro. Bye.